gives me a big smile every day I drive it. That would be the ultimate daily. Now I'm driving my Porsche 718 Spyder, and it's not a manual, it's a PDK automatic. But I also own a Toyota GR Corolla, which is a manual. And if you asked me 6 years ago which one I'd prefer to drive every single day, you know, I would have laughed at you. But here's the truth that nobody in this hobby wants to shout out loud. My $40,000 Toyota is a better, more fun daily driver than my six-figure Porsche, this Porsche. Not a better car, mind you, a better daily. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and which one of these two philosophies actually fits your lifestyle. Now, in case you don't know, I'm a PCA national track instructor. I've been driving manual transmission cars for over 50 years, and I own both of these cars outright. There's no sponsor, no dealer relationship, nothing but my own money and my own opinion. Sure, a couple of these are obvious, but, you know, let's get into it. Now, before anyone accuses me of Porsche regret, stop right there. The Spyder is, without question, one of the greatest driver's cars Porsche has ever built. I track it 6 weekends a year at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I've instructed dozens of students and even a few in cars just like this one. Now, when I'm out driving this car, top down, engine right behind your head, screaming to 8,000 RPM, there's nothing that touches it for excitement on a track day or a fun Sunday morning spirited drive. Now, this video isn't about which car is better. It's about which car I reach for on a Tuesday morning running errands in the sun, rain, or snow with a trunk full of groceries or you know, building supplies, and why that answer might actually surprise you. Number one, and this is the one that surprises people the most, is my GR Corolla is a manual. And by the way, I'll explain a little bit later why I didn't get a manual in my Spyder. But you know, in my GR Corolla, every single upshift, every single downshift, or at every light, I'm engaged. I'm shifting gears and working the clutch. I'm heel and toeing into that roundabout. I'm making every gear change a decision. You know, there's an old saying in this hobby, it's a lot more fun to drive a slow car fast than it is a fast car slow. And you know, the GR Corolla really exemplifies that whole premise. On a public road, at legal speeds, or, you know, or maybe a little above in traffic, that's exactly what's happening. My GR Corolla is begging me to use every single one of its 300 horsepower. My Spyder at the same speed, you know, it's not barely breathing hard at all. One of those experiences is fun, and the other, well, unfortunately, it's just transportation to doing something fun, like a track day or a deserted twisty road. All right, reason number two, and that's parking lot stress. My Spyder sits a little more than 3 inches off the ground with a splitter that, although I've been very careful, I've already scraped it once. Every parking lot, every steep driveway, you know, every mall ramp is a calculation. With a GR Corolla, you know, I don't even think about it because its ground clearance is 2 inches higher than the Spyder's, and the front splitter is 2 inches higher than the Spyder's. I pull in, I park, I walk away. That mental tax while doing, you know, menial tasks adds up every single day. And let's not forget the rear 3/4 visibility from the Spyder. Well, you know, it's marginal at best. If you're working your way through traffic, the GR's better visibility makes it so much less stressful, you know, in that kind of a situation. Reason number three is space, right? Now don't laugh, because this one actually matters, you know. The Spyder has no back seat and 2 trunks that you can, you know, it can hold some soft, flexible type bags, nothing bigger than 45 inches long, and that if something is 45 inches long, it better be really narrow. Now, you can fit 2 carry-on bags in the front trunk and maybe 1 set of golf clubs in the back trunk. Now, the Corolla's back seat, it folds flat, so it'll easily swallow those 2 carry-on bags and 2 full-size suitcases in the back. If you're heading to the airport, no problem at all. Back seats are small, but at least you've got back seats in the case of emergency. All groceries, as well as our monthly Costco purchases, small lumber pieces, hardware for home projects, you know, and it'll actually fit all 4 of my wheels when it's time to change over to my snow tires. But if you need to carry a tire or a wheel in your Spyder, you better make sure it's one of the front tires and that your passenger's walking. A couple of years ago, I needed to pick up a new desk from IKEA. that's about 100 miles away. Now this desk is 32 inches by 62 inches in size, and you know, that's nothing for a normal size SUV to bring home, but for a sporty performance car like this GR Corolla, it was great to be able to do that. So I went and I picked it up, no problem. And it had enough room for the top of the desk. Now I did have to take it out of the box, but there was enough room for the desk, the legs, everything that came with it, and we still had enough room to stop in on the way back to Costco and pick up our monthly purchases. No problem. Folding that back seat down gives you lots of space. I wouldn't even think of trying something like that in my 718 Spyder with a frunk about the size of a cooler, and the back trunk is so flat and so such weird dimensions. There's no way you could fit anything like that in there. I wouldn't even try. That's the thing about daily driving. It's not about that one glamorous drive on a Sunday morning. It's about driving fun, doing 100 boring errands in between. And the GR Corolla just quietly handles all of them without complaint and gives me a big smile every day I drive it in the process. And reason number 4 is one that really matters a lot for me where I live, is the winter. Now we get long, brutal Canadian winters. The Spyder gets parked in storage. It's rear drive, it's low, and frankly, you know what, I'm not subjecting it to all the wear and tear those winter atrocities bring. My GR Corolla has GR4 all-wheel drive and real ground clearance. And you know what? No matter what winter brings, it just goes through it. Dedicated ice and snow tires, so when it comes to snow, slush, ice, you know, it just doesn't care. Now that's not a small thing. In fact, this all-wheel drive GR Corolla is an absolute hoot to drive in the snow and on those slippery roads. Keep in mind, for me, that's 1/3 of the year where one of these cars just simply isn't an option and the other one is my only option. Now, reason number 5, before I sold my businesses, this GR Corolla was actually my company car. Now, you can easily justify the GR Corolla as a company car due to its practicality in terms of space and cost, which means it'd be extremely difficult to justify that with something like a 718 Spyder. That way you enjoy your performance hot hatch while you're on the road for work and commuting to and from the office. Now, by the way, if you could justify a 718 Spyder as your company car, you might have some explaining to do about your pricing when visiting your customers with that 718 Spyder. Now, number 6, let's talk dollars, US dollars, because this is where the gap gets even bigger. Currently, my GR Corolla Circuit Edition 2023 is worth about $35,000 versus $110,000 for my 718 Spyder. That's a huge gap. But consider too that my GR Corolla is depreciating while my Spyder is actually appreciating. When it comes to insurance, believe it or not, I'm actually paying about the same for my GR Corolla as I am for my 718 Spyder. Of course, my 718 Spyder only have insured for about 8 months of the year, but for the GR Corolla, it works out to about $960 a year. The fuel costs, surprisingly, they both use premium. Although for the Spyder, it's 94 octane when I can find it versus the 91 octane I typically use in the GR Corolla, which saves me about 30 cents a gallon. But again, strangely enough, they both get exactly the same fuel consumption of about 21 miles per gallon, except when I've got that Spyder on track, of course. A set of tires for my GR Corolla are about $1,000 for a set of 4 of the Michelin Pilot 4S, while my Spyder's Pilot Sport 4S's run about $1,716. I'm on my original GR Corolla tires after 20,000 miles, which share their workload with my snow tires. But those summer tires look like they'll last another 10,000 miles, no problem. But the tires on my Spyder, well, they get replaced every single year. Yep, they're significantly affected by those 15 or so track days per year on that car. The GR Corolla is not used for track days. You know what? It's just not suitable for that purpose. A simple oil and filter change at the dealership for my GR Corolla is about $160. versus the $488 I pay for a simple oil change on my Porsche. The GR Corolla isn't just cheaper to buy, it's dramatically cheaper to live with. Although the appreciation on my Spyder definitely helps offset some of its higher costs. And that's before we talk about the effect on the depreciation that we'd experience as a result of the wear and tear on my Porsche splitter, paint, or interior when being used as a daily instead of a weekend fun drive and, track car. Now let me be very clear, because I don't want a single comment calling this Porsche regret. It's definitely not. Take both of these cars to a track day and the GR Corolla, it just isn't even in the same conversation. It's not even close. The Spyder is a mid-engine, naturally aspirated, top-down weapon. And it's frankly a shame if an owner never takes one of these to a circuit. That's what it was built for. When you're out there top down, no rain, empty road ahead, there is no version of the GR Corolla that replicates that feeling. The engine note behind your head, the way it changes direction, the way it makes you feel like a better driver than you actually are. That's not something a daily driver conversation can touch. This car earns its place in my garage every single lap, thinking about it being on track. So here's my honest verdict. Best daily and best car are not the same question. And anyone who tells you they are hasn't owned both a hot hatch like the GR Corolla and a Porsche at the same time. My GR Corolla wins the daily grind, the commute, the winter, the parking lot, the hardware store run, because it's engaging, it's practical, and it's cheaper to live with, but still lots of fun when used that way. To be honest, it's more of a consumable, a fun and engaging car, but a consumable nonetheless. My Spyder wins everything else. The track day, the fun twisty roads, the Sunday with the top down, because some experiences simply cannot be replaced by a practical car, no matter how much fun that practical car is. My Spyder's definitely a keeper. Now both of these cars are special. They're just special in completely different ways, for completely different purposes. Alright, so who should actually daily a car like the GR Corolla instead of their sports car? Well, if you live somewhere with real winters like I do, if you value a manual, you can row through the gears every single day without worrying about track wear, or if your fun car would rack up some stone chips and splitter scrapes on your commute, daily the practical car and save the special car for the days it deserves. And who should keep daily driving their sports car? Well, if you live somewhere with mild weather year-round, if ground clearance and cargo space generally don't factor into your life, or if the emotional payoff of driving something special every day outweighs the cost and the stress, that's a completely valid choice too, believe me. That would be the ultimate daily situation for a Spyder like this. There's no wrong answer here, just your answer. Now, if you're curious about what 3 years and 20,000 miles has done to my GR Corolla, that update video is coming very soon. So make sure you've liked this video and you're subscribed so you don't miss it. My 718 Spyder, I chose Porsche's PDK automatic over the manual for two huge reasons. One, the manual gear ratios are way too high for driving in North America. So you spend very little of your time actually shifting that manual transmission while driving, which of course, that's where the fun is, right? Keep in mind that just because it's a manual doesn't automatically mean it's more fun to drive. The gear ratio choice makes all the difference. The closer ratios of the GR Corolla make it more fun to row through the gears than a 718 Spyder. And secondly, when equipped with a PDK transmission, the 718 Spyder accelerates much more quickly and is faster, especially on track. Now, since I tracked my 718 Spyder, that PDK automatic transmission was the best choice for me. If you want the full breakdown of what it's actually cost me in my 5 years of ownership of my 718 Spyder, click this link over here. It's got my 5-year review video where I break down all the costs and what it's actually like to live with one of these, and I'll see you there.